So today is February 27th, and here are some minor updates of the plants. Let's see. First off here. So this is the Drosera capillaris that is untreated, and this is the one with the so-called stratified, but actually I found out that they're not actually stratified, they're just stored in a cold place. For a seed to be stratified, you need to be cold and wet with it. I just got the cold part, but as you can see, there are some sprouts there, like right there. They're both equally successful, I think, except this one is just not getting enough sun because they're in the crevices. That one is not a sprout, that's from a leaf cutting, and those other ones are Bromania seeds. Another thing that I've been working on is this Biblis luniflora. You can see those are seed sprouts. The way I got them to sprout is after I dunked the seeds in water to soften the shell, I squeezed out the embryos and then let them sit in this soil, and then they sprouted. But another thing I've been experimenting on is the bleach treatment, which I did last night, which is this. I did the treatment because I was sent seeds from a seller, but the seeds seemed to be unviable, and some of them got squished. So what I'm trying to prove out here is if the seeds will make it, and one way to test that is to have a control group that I also treated with bleach, but that control group came from my plants over there. So I'll find out what will happen maybe in about a week or so, because that's roughly the time it took for these seeds, the one over there, to sprout. About a week after getting removed from their shell. So anyway, another thing, little update, the Drosera binata, that I don't know which kind of variety, has a little flower bud right up there, if you can see it. I'll try to make it flower just to see if the flowers will bear viable seeds, because there's actually some forms of Drosera binata that are not self-fertile, but also there are some varieties that are self-fertile or self-pollinating. Another one is that one. That's a big community pot of Drosera burmanii that I decided to make, so I can have something like that but red. That's still being worked on because the Drosera burmanii that I got are pretty weak strains. Also, the Drosera indica reds are flowering even though they're still small. Unlike the serpents over there, they tend to flower when they're big enough. Little small update again is the mother plant for Drosera burmanii Humpty Doo, or the red form, is making probably its last flower stalk, and it's dying. It's turning a bit green because it's not in very bright light, but I do have some seedlings over there. I'm gonna turn those into mother plants as well, and maybe I'll get better results with them. Maybe they're stronger, I think. Anyway, I hope they're stronger. The Drosera petiolaris made a division. I don't know if you can see it, but there's another growth point right about there. The Drosera ordensis is looking fine. This one is looking fine too. What else? Yeah, not really. There's not really much to say for the update. But the Serra Capillaris community pot is looking fine, as you can see. There we go. This one is the first clones I made from this one. This is the mother pot, but they're not doing really well. I think they're just still semi-dormant because it's still kind of cold in the mornings and in the evenings, but everyone else is waking up, so I'll just give them their time. Oh yeah, also I also repotted the Paradoxa propagations, and I'm planning to sell these pots, hopefully. What else? Oh, I went ahead and put the other Sarracenias, the big ones, in dormancy because they're looking cranky. And since I'm moving out soon, all the sensitive plants, the light sensitive plants, I place right there, because the sun comes up over here and then travels across there. So this side gets a ton of light, actually only about like 5 to 6 hours, but that one doesn't get very bright light, just a dappled sunlight. I need that for the summer because summers here are very dry, very hot, and heat waves are common. These guys can survive the heat waves as long as they have the water, but those ones won't. So yeah, also I repotted the Pygmy Drosera's because I found that they're not growing too much because they're pretty root bound, or the soil is too compacted. Now I placed them in very loose soils. As you can see, they're looking a bit better, except this other one right here, because I kind of destroyed the roots of that one. Also, I think it's the weakest. I don't know, it's the weakest plant so far in this pot. The Jamesii though, since they're natural hybrids, they have that hybrid vigor they're talking about, so they tend to be more stronger. This one is still an unknown plant, still unknown. If I could get this one to grow up and make flowers, then we can properly identify it with the seller. And yeah, turns out this one is not really spatulata. The same, these are leaf cuttings from the mother plant. They're not spatulata, they're Tokayensis. I just made that research. You can tell they're Tokayensis because first off, the leaf shape are round, very round at the end. Then the flowers are very vigorous. As you can see, there's a lot of buds in there. There's a lot of flower buds, and that's how you can say it's Tokayensis. Unlike spatulata, which has a lesser rounded leaf, less flower vigor. Also, the flower, when this opens up, you can search it up with the ICPS Spatulata Complex, I believe is the title of the website. You can see the different flowers, and this flower is more akin to Tokayensis than the typical spatulata. Anyway, I think that's all for the update today, so see you around.